Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why do I love the way that I love? Maybe you were sitting alone. Maybe it was late at night. Maybe someone just walked away from you for the 100th time. And in that silence, a thought crossed your mind that you couldn't shake. Why do I push people away right when they're getting close? Why do I feel suffocated by something I prayed for? Why does my heart run the second it starts to feel something real? You are not alone in this. You are not broken. You are not too damaged to love. You are not the problem. But something inside you is keeping you trapped in a pattern you cannot see. A pattern that controls who you let in, who you push out, and how you destroy the very connections your soul desperately needs. Today, we are going to uncover that pattern. And when you see it, you will finally understand why you love the way you do. This is not about blame. This is about awareness. And awareness is the first step to freedom. But here is the promise I am making to you. If you stay until the very end of this video, you will walk away with something that will change how you see yourself. You will understand not just why you operate this way, but how to finally break free from it, how to stop repeating the same heartbreak, how to stop pushing away good people who genuinely want to be there for you, how to finally stop running from the one thing your heart has always wanted, real, deep, unshakable love. Because here is the truth that most people never tell you. The way you love right now is not a reflection of who you are at your core. It is a reflection of what you learned to survive. And survival mode is not meant to be a permanent state of being. There is a reason you built walls so high that nobody can climb over them. There is a reason closeness feels like a threat instead of a gift. There is a reason your nervous system fires panic signals when someone gets too close. Not because they are dangerous, but because somewhere in your history, closeness brought pain. Your brain learned to protect you, and protection became your prison. This pattern has a name. It is called avoidant attachment. And if you recognize yourself in anything I am saying right now, I need you to understand something. This is not who you are. This is who you learned to become. And that means it can be unlearned. Millions of people walk around every single day feeling exactly what you feel. They want love so badly it physically hurts. But the second someone offers it to them, something clicks off inside. A switch flips. And before they even realize what is happening, they are creating distance, finding flaws, manufacturing reasons to pull away, not because they don't care, but because caring too much feels like drowning. And the cruelest part of this pattern is that you are aware of it. You see yourself doing it, you hate yourself for doing it, and still you cannot stop. You watch good people walk away. You tell yourself next time will be different. You promise yourself you will open up this time, you will be vulnerable. You will let someone all the way in, but then it happens again. Someone gets close. You feel that tightness in your chest, and your instinct takes over before your mind even has a chance to intervene. You retreat, you withdraw, you vanish, and then the loneliness returns. And the cycle repeats. The question that brought you here today is not a small question. It is a question that holds the key to your entire emotional future. It is the question that separates people who keep repeating the same heartbreak forever from people who finally break the pattern and build the kind of love they always imagined was only for other people. Why do I love the way that I love? That question is not a sign of weakness. That question is a sign of strength. Because it means you are finally ready to look in the mirror. You are finally ready to stop lying to yourself. You are finally ready to stop blaming the other person every time something goes wrong. You are ready to see the truth about yourself. And the truth is powerful. The truth is the beginning of transformation. So do not click away. Do not convince yourself this does not apply to you. Because if it applies to you and you skip this video, you will be skipping the very thing that could have set you free. Stay with me. Watch until the end. Because what I am about to share with you is not just information. This is ammunition. This is the weapon you need to finally dismantle the walls you built and rebuild them into something that lets love in instead of keeping it out. This is your moment, your rewire, your reset. Now let us begin. There is a war happening inside you right now. It is not visible to anyone around you. It does not leave marks on your skin, but it is real. It is exhausting. And it never seems to stop. One part of you is screaming for connection, for someone to see you, for someone to stay, for someone to choose you and mean it. That part of you aches with a loneliness so deep it feels like it will never end. You scroll through your phone at night and see everyone else seemingly living these beautiful connected lives, and you wonder why it feels so impossible for you. But then something else happens. The other part of you raises its defenses. It starts scanning for danger. It looks for reasons to doubt. It reminds you of every time you opened up and got hurt, every time you trusted someone and they disappeared, every time you let someone in and they made you regret it. That part of you does not want to get close again. That part of you learned that closeness leads to pain, and it refuses to let that happen again. So you are caught in the middle, divided, pulled in two directions at the same time. You want to be known, but you are terrified of being seen. You want to be loved, but you flinch the moment love starts to feel real. You want to hold on, but your hands keep opening on their own. This is the silent struggle, the one nobody talks about, the one that lives inside your chest and keeps you up at night. And the cruelest part is that nobody around you understands it. They see you pulling away. They see you going cold. They see you creating distance after months of closeness. And they assume you do not care. They assume you are selfish. They assume you never loved them at all. But they are wrong. You cared too much. That was the problem. You cared so much that it scared you. You cared so much that your body went into protection mode. You cared so much that you decided the only way to survive was to destroy the very thing that was beginning to matter to you. And you hate yourself for it. That is the part nobody sees. The guilt, the shame, the way you replay every conversation in your head and ask yourself why you said what you said, why you did what you did, why you ran when everything inside you was begging you to stay. You know you hurt someone, you know you left scars, and you carry that weight every single day. But instead of facing it, you do what you always do. You bury it, you distract yourself. You fill the void with work, with hobbies, with anything that keeps your mind too busy to think about what you have done. Because if you stop moving long enough to feel it, the guilt will swallow you whole. This is the exhausting cycle you cannot escape. You meet someone new. You feel a spark. For a moment, everything is exciting. You allow yourself to believe this time will be different. You let your guard down just a little, and then, slowly, the walls start closing in again. The fear returns, the doubt grows, and before you know it, you are back to square one. Destroying something beautiful because you are too afraid to trust that it could be real. Your friends do not understand. They see you as someone who cannot commit, someone who always bails, someone who never gives anyone a real chance. And maybe they are right. But what they do not see is the terror that lives behind every decision you make. They do not see how desperately you want to be different, how badly you want to be the person who can just love openly and freely without this constant internal battle raging inside you. The truth is, you are not emotionally unavailable because you do not have feelings. You are emotionally unavailable because you have too many of them. Feelings so intense, so overwhelming, that your only coping mechanism became creating distance, creating space, creating walls thick enough to keep everyone out, including yourself. You built those walls to survive, and now those walls are keeping you trapped. This silent struggle is not a character flaw. It is not a sign that you are incapable of love. It is a survival response that went too far. It is your brain trying to protect you from past pain in a way that is now causing present pain. And until you understand this, you will keep repeating the same pattern over and over again, wondering why nothing ever changes. The good news is, nothing changes until you see it clearly, and you are seeing it right now. The walls you built are not your identity. They are just walls, and walls can come down, but only if you decide they need to. Now that you can see the war inside you, let us give it a name. What you have been experiencing your entire life has a term, a label that psychologists and researchers have studied for decades. And once you hear it, something will click into place inside you. Everything you could never explain about yourself will finally make sense. That pattern is called avoidant attachment. Let me break this down in a way that actually matters to you. Not clinical definitions, not textbook language, just raw truth. Avoidant attachment is a style of relating to other people. It is the way your heart and brain learn to handle closeness, intimacy, and emotional connection. And the way it learned to handle those things was by keeping distance, by staying away, by never letting anyone get too close for too long. People with avoidant attachment are not cold. They are not heartless. They are not incapable of love. They are simply operating from a place that says, closeness is dangerous. Vulnerability is a trap. If I let someone all the way in, they will eventually hurt me. So the safest thing to do is keep them at arm's length always. That belief is so deep that it runs automatically. It is not a choice, it is a reflex. The moment someone starts to matter to you, alarms go off inside your nervous system. Not because they did anything wrong, not because they are actually dangerous, but because your brain, Jijula, that closeness once equaled pain, and it refuses to let that happen again. So your body does what it knows how to do. It creates space, it builds walls, it finds reasons to doubt, it starts conversations in your head about why this person is not right for you, why you should not be investing this much, why you should protect yourself and pull back before it is too late, and you believe those thoughts because they feel real. But here is what is actually happening. You are not protecting yourself from the person in front of you. You are protecting yourself from the ghost of someone who hurt you a long time ago. You are fighting a battle that already ended. You are running from a threat that no longer exists. And the person standing right in front of you is paying the price for wounds they did not cause. This is the core of avoidant attachment. It is a misalignment between the present and the past. Your body is living in yesterday, while your life is happening today. And until you recognize that misalignment, you will keep destroying what could have been beautiful. Now let me be very clear about something. This pattern shows up in specific ways. If you recognize even a few of these, you need to pay attention. You feel suffocated when someone gets emotionally close to you. Not after months, within weeks, sometimes days. The closer they get, the more trapped you feel. You find yourself going quiet in relationships, pulling back, answering messages slower, creating distance even when nothing is wrong. You have a habit of catastrophizing closeness. You imagine worst-case scenarios. You convince yourself that if you let this person in completely, something terrible will happen. You tell yourself you do not need anyone, that you are fine alone, that being single is better than risking getting hurt again. You have ended relationships not because the person was bad for you, but because the relationship was getting too real, too deep, too important, and that feeling terrified you. When your partner expresses a need for more connection, more time, more emotional intimacy, you feel cornered instead of loved. These are not coincidences. These are symptoms, patterns that repeat across every relationship you enter, patterns that keep you single, lonely, and convinced that you are somehow fundamentally broken. You are not broken. You are patterned, and patterns can be changed. The reason this matters so much is because understanding avoidant attachment is the first step to moving past it. When you finally see what has been running your life without your permission, you gain power. You gain choice. You gain the ability to respond differently than you have always responded. Before you understood this, you were a passenger in your own emotional life. Your reactions were happening to you. Your fears were controlling you. Your past was writing your present story without you even knowing it. But now you are reading these words. Now you are becoming aware. And awareness is the weapon that changes everything. The question is not whether you can change. The question is whether you are ready to do the work it takes to change. Because this is not a quick fix. This is not a magic pill. This is a process, a journey, a daily choice to respond differently than your instincts are screaming at you to respond. And that journey starts by understanding where this pattern came from in the first place. So where did this all start? The answer matters more than you might think. Because if you have been carrying something your whole life without understanding where it came from, it feels like it is just part of you, like it is your identity, like it is simply who you are. But it is not who you are. It is what you learned. And learning means it was taught, which means it can be untaught. Let us go back, not to blame anyone, not to point fingers, but to understand. Because understanding is the foundation of transformation. When you were a child, you had needs. Physical needs, yes. Food, shelter, safety, but also emotional needs. The need to be seen, the need to be comforted when you were scared, the need to have your feelings validated, the need to know that when you were hurting, someone would show up for you. Every child has these needs. They are not optional, they are essential. Now imagine what happens when those needs are not met, not completely, not consistently. Imagine a child who learns early that expressing emotions gets dismissed or punished. Imagine a child who learns that if they cry, no one comes. If they reach out, no one holds them. If they need something, they are on their own. That child learns a survival lesson, a painful, powerful, life-changing lesson. The lesson is this: My needs are not safe to express. Reaching out is dangerous. Vulnerability leads to disappointment, so I will stop reaching, I will stop asking, I will learn to handle everything by myself because relying on others only leads to pain. That lesson does not stay in childhood. That lesson follows you into every relationship you ever have. It becomes the invisible architecture of your love life, the blueprint your brain uses every single time someone tries to get close to you. And here is what makes this so tricky. It is not always about obvious trauma. It is not always about abuse or abandonment. Sometimes it is more subtle. A parent who was emotionally unavailable. A mother who was always stressed and could not handle your big feelings. A father who led with criticism instead of warmth. A home where you learned that being perfect was the only way to earn love. Maybe you were the strong one, the easy child, the one who never caused problems. You learned to not ask for much, to not take up space, to figure things out on your own so nobody had to worry about you. That seemed helpful at the time, but it was a trap, because the child who learns to never need anyone grows into an adult who cannot receive love, who sees care as a threat, who runs from intimacy because it feels like a cage. Your brain did not choose this. Your brain was doing what it was designed to do. It was adapting to your environment. It was learning the rules of your world so you could survive in it. And the rule was clear. Do not depend on others. Do not trust too deeply. Do not let yourself need anything you cannot provide for yourself. This was protection. This was survival. This was necessary. But here is the truth that nobody told you. The protection that kept you safe as a child is now keeping you trapped as an adult. The walls you built to survive your childhood home are now blocking you from the love your adult life deserves. You are not living in that house anymore. But your nervous system never left it. Every time someone tries to love you, part of your brain whispers a warning. It says, do not let them in. Do not trust this. They will leave eventually. Disappointment is coming. So protect yourself. Keep your distance. Stay safe. That voice is not lying to you. That voice is trying to protect you, but it is using an outdated threat assessment. It sees danger where there is none. It responds to the present with the emotions of the past. This is the protective mechanism that became a prison. You built those walls because you needed them, but now the danger is gone. You are an adult now. You have resources your child self did not have. You have choices your child self could not make. You are capable of finding people who will actually show up for you, people who will not repeat the pain you experienced as a child. But your nervous system does not know that yet. Your nervous system is still running on an old program. A program that says the world is unsafe, people cannot be trusted, and love is a trap. Breaking free from this prison requires more than wanting to change. It requires understanding exactly how the prison was built, and now you see it. You see how your childhood taught you to survive in a way that is now preventing you from thriving. This is not about your parents. This is not about blame. This is about seeing clearly so you can choose differently.